Welcome to Eventful Endeavors, secrets to crafting the perfect celebration. If you're planning an event and looking for useful tips from industry experts, you're in the right place. So get ready to take some notes and we'll dive right in. This is Eventful Endeavors. All right, welcome again to another exciting episode of Eventful Endeavors. I, of course, am your host, Mike Sherman with Felix and Fingers Dueling Pianos. Today, I'm interviewing the great Marsha VanArk of Distinctly Yours Wedding and Events. Marsha started out in hospitality with a degree in restaurant management from UW-Stout. She spent a decade managing everything from casual to fine dining establishments. However, after she got married and started a family, she transitioned into wedding coordination, starting at her local church in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, where she discovered her passion for creating unforgettable wedding experiences. In 2010, she then turned that passion into a profession by founding Distinctly Yours Wedding and Events. She has over 2 decades of wedding coordination under her belt and 14 years of successfully running her own company. She's cultivated a dedication to crafting unforgettable experiences for every couple, and today her company is a team of 8, and they're all committed to making wedding dreams a reality. Marsha, how are you today? How did I do on that intro?
Good. Thank you, Michael. Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing great.
Good. Well, so good to see you. Marsha and I have worked together in the past, along, and with our Felix and Fingers Dueling Pianos, working with her company, and it's always so great. She is definitely a professional in every sense of the world, and also just really seems to enjoy and love what she does, which is such a great thing for me to see whenever I work with anybody. So, all right. So why don't you tell me a little bit in your own words how you kind of found this passion for wedding coordination and just a little bit about your company and kind of how it came to be over the last 14 years?
Sure. I have hospitality is in my blood. I love absolutely to come alongside a couple that literally has never planned this event before, this kind of event. So I love to come alongside them, partner with them, and help them really with their vision, take their vision, whatever kind of couple personality, even their family flavors and things like that, and then kind of meld them and help that into, and work that into the design of the day, or just making it something that is totally unique to them. My favorite is, when their guests walk away and say, "Oh my gosh, that was such a cool event. It was so much fun." And it was just totally them. It just represented who the couple was. So that's ultimately my favorite thing. And so whether we're bringing it in with design and aesthetics, or it's just a guest experience that is like over the top and amazing, because it's just who they are.
Yeah, that's amazing. And me too. Whenever people are asking for my input on advice on anything, I'm always happy to give that input, but I'm always like, it's really just so important to show your personality, especially for a wedding. Like that is kind of like everything about you. It's like, I want to see your personality in every aspect of every single wedding that we're at. So, which is
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, what would you say to somebody? I mean, we do obviously a lot of weddings. Some people have like a wedding coordinator, some people don't have a wedding coordinator. I mean, I certainly can tell the difference when they have somebody. I mean, some people might think, like, oh, I don't want that extra expense, but like I know that I've seen historically that it actually can often save you money, let alone the stress and the time. I mean, what would you say to somebody who's kind of toying with the idea of getting some extra help for their wedding?
Yes, it literally, when I come in and I explain to them what I do, it instantly alleviates the overwhelm. They're like, "Oh, I don't have to figure all of this out," because of the fact that they've never done it before. So I've said that, again, I'm saying that again, but the idea of the day is that they're the hosting all of these guests, and then they're also the guest of honor. So how do they take that and make that and how do they navigate between those two things? And so that's where I come in, because that's my favorite, is that I just make them look like great hosts, and they get to enjoy the day because I'm doing all the behind the scenes things to make them look amazing and make the day go so smooth and fun. And guests really notice it as well. I know vendors do, because they get to see multiple weddings so do guests, on the guest side of it. And I love to come in and help guests make sure that they're well taken care of just as much as the couple. Obviously, they're my clients, but I love to come in and just, yeah, take care of guests and make sure that they're not cold, or they're not too hot, or they have drinks on a timely manner, or their food isn't overcooked, or all of those things, because timing makes such a difference throughout the day.
Oh,
So
absolutely. And those are the things a lot of people aren't going to think about. Like those things, they're not considering those, when they're planning their wedding, those little things like that. And that really can make the big difference. And I love
absolutely.
what you said too about just like you want to make them look good. I mean, that's like even when people hire us, to me, that's always the thing. It's like we want people to have so much fun that they're complimenting you on your wedding, even though really you just were having fun and getting drunk with everybody else. But like
Yes,
we're
right.
going to help you take the credit for like the best wedding anyone's ever been to. So,
Oh my gosh, Michael, I love working with you. It is so amazing because of you're so talented, and all of your crew is talented. So, and what you bring to the table is just so unique, and nothing, no, I've done multiple weddings with you and it's never the same.
yeah,
And
well, that's
so
why I
when I
don't.
explain
Yeah.
to them, I'm like, it will be like no other, you will not be like your cousin's wedding. It will not be like your sister's wedding. It will not be like theirs at all. So
Yeah.
that's what brings in that uniqueness. I love that.
Oh, thank you. No, that's awesome. I mean, I always tell people like I want 20 years from now people to still remember your wedding and forget every other wedding they've ever been to. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
it's
Right.
like that's my selfish goal is to create those memories for you and for you to take the credit for them, just like you said. So that's perfect.
Right.
Well, great. So I want to ask you what are some common misconceptions that couples might have about their weddings and how you address those misconceptions in your work and with what you do?
Misconceptions. Just that it's, you know, they have their lives, they have their family, their friends, and they have a full-time career. And then they're just going to, take on this wedding, which in essence is a full-time job for me. So, that it's just going to be something that they're going to add on to their plate, and it's not going to be stressful or overwhelming. And that's where I love to come in and just say that this is not you're not adding on a part-time job, that's literally what you're doing by taking on a wedding. And the misconceptions is that they can do it all themselves because their cousin did or their sister did. But maybe for them, it's not the right fit to do it themselves because of their career, because of their family situations, or because of what else they have going on. I just talked to a couple last night they have 5 dogs. Well, that's a lot to take care of. They don't that, so adding on a wedding in addition to careers, family, and all that, and 5 dogs, that's a lot to take care of, and it can be overwhelming. The other thing that I bring to the plate is just that I've been doing it for a long time. I have relationships with great vendors, kind of like you, Michael. I have great relationships, and I love to recommend my friends. So how easy would that be as someone that I've worked with? I know their personality, I know their style of work, I know their design, I know all of those things because I've worked with them before, and they don't have to figure that out because I'm going to give them, like, here are the 3 that would be a perfect fit. It's within your budget, it's within your style. And then they can just go, oh, okay, I just get to pick from 3, not 50 DJs that are out there or whatever. Yeah.
Like that conversation right there just could save them 3 weeks of Googling and Pinterest and TikTok or whatever, whatever they're doing. Just like having you an
I would say
expert.
months. Yeah,
Right.
months of it. Because if you just taking one vendor and doing that back and forth with them, I even had a couple that, I talked with, and they were like, I just felt so much pressure once I reached out to somebody that I was interested in that I had to book in the next 10 minutes,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And she was like, but I'm just searching, and that's what I'm finding with couples. They're super smart, they're super savvy, and they are just taking longer to decide because they are decisive in a
Hmm.
sense that they have so much information. They're trying to also filter through all of it,
Right.
but also just giving them time and breath, and not they can smell a sales pitch from a mile away.
Big time.
Like they don't want to be sold to. They just want to be educated or knowledgeable in the decisions that they make. So I want to help them do that and help them and educate them to make those best decisions for them. Yeah.
Right. Oh no, you're absolutely right about that. They don't want to be sold to. I mean, that's why even just doing sales for Felix and Fingers, it's like I've never felt like I need to be a salesman because I actually really do enjoy what I do, and I'm just telling people how much I love what it is that we do, And it's like they can hear that and tell that, I'm not trying to convince them to buy something that might not be good. I'm like, I
Right.
believe in this, It's like I see it every week how much fun people have, and it's just awesome.
Right. And that's how I feel about what I do because I come alongside, the uncle that tells me that, wow, this was so much fun and it wasn't chaotic and crazy. It was
Yeah,
like the last 4 weddings that I was
yeah.
at this family venture, kind of thing.
Because we've all
So
been to those weddings too, for sure.
yes,
Yeah.
right. Try to prevent them as best I can. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Well, so now tell me. So now I know you say you kind of started in Stevens Point specifically. Do you do mostly? Where I mean, I know most of what I've done has kind of been in that general area with you. I mean, how far out do you? I mean, will you cover all over Wisconsin, or do you have like a more central location that you try and stick to? I mean, how selective are you with when people reach out to you?
Um, I literally love and have a passion for ground up events.
Mhm.
So give me a field and I'll have a whole lot of fun with it. But the definitely central I think I'm blessed because I'm in central Wisconsin, so I can go anywhere within Wisconsin
Yeah.
within 4 hours of travel.
Right.
So I will go. I mean, I was in Milwaukee, I was in Madison this last year, um, Green Bay, and then also the deep north of
Yeah.
Wisconsin where there's nothing.
Not a lot.
There's
Yeah.
trees. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Maybe some roads. I've done some dirt roads as well. So,
Oh, great.
yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, cool. Well, I mean, obviously, someone has been doing as long as you. I mean, I've been in the wedding industry not even quite as long as you. I mean, maybe 12 years, and you've certainly eclipsed me with your expertise too. So, I was like, I'm curious. I always like to talk to people like about what has changed. What are people doing now that they didn't used to do, or what do people used to do that they're not doing anymore? Or any kind of trends that you've seen, like just over the course of time, like how are weddings different now than they were when you started doing this? 20 years ago.
Oh gosh, that is a loaded question.
Right.
One thing that I would have to say the biggest change is the traditions, is going outside the traditions. If they want to do something traditional,
Mhm.
that, yes, because that was something that they loved about the weddings that they, went to as a kid, whatever. But I like to go outside the box and, whether it's doing a first look, or um, it, so a first look is when you can see each other before the ceremony starts, and then you can actually get some pictures done ahead of time before the actual event begins. I have, just for that specific example, that just takes a lot of pressure and doing all those photos after the ceremony between the reception and elongating the event out that much. um and if that's something that they're open to, then we'll talk about that and like, oh, do you want to do something a little bit more private, or do you want to do something where you just do all the wedding party photos later and it's just the two of you because you get this private time together. So I like it taking those traditions. You have the day, but then they get to enjoy it as well because they're not off doing pictures. They actually get to join their guests and actually be able to experience the event that they've spent months and months and months and months planning, or years, and to be part of it and actually interact with their guests and take all of that pressure off. So just kind of walking outside the box with them as far as the traditions. I have some couples that have been to many weddings, and I have some that have been to none. So they have, so I navigate between that. I'm like, well, here's a thought, here's some ideas, here's some thoughts with this. So that's what I love to do, is kind of walk outside that
Yeah.
box a little bit.
Oh, I love that. No, I love what you mentioned tradition because I mean I think a lot of times people also think like, oh, we need to do these things because we've always done it this way, and then I think people often kind of regret those things. So I think it's kind of about finding that flavor of the tradition, but then also still making it your own. I mean,
Right.
especially now, just in the age of social media and Pinterest. I mean, everyone's trying to do that unique thing now. It's like that's absolutely what I'm seeing more often for sure. And I
Yes.
mean, and I love the idea of whatever I see people doing the first look and the photos before the ceremony. It's just like great, you know? Because then like I would say even 5 years ago, it's like cocktail hour was generally just an hour for the bride and groom and their wedding party to like run away, like quick,
Run
quick, get
away.
your pictures done while everyone else has some drinks, and they get back and they're sweaty and they're like, okay, now hurry, let's go sit down for dinner, and it's just a lot of stress that goes to it. So I mean, no, that's a
Right.
I love it when they just like they get married and they're like, great, give me a drink and like let's enjoy
Yeah, let's
cocktails
hang
and
out.
relax.
Yeah,
I mean,
let's hang
it's
out and let's do this. And yeah, that is my favorite when they can just like relax or just have that private time together to take each other in a sense, like, I just got all ready for you.
yeah,
Literally, yes, the 300 people later, yeah, they're a big deal as well. But I just got ready for you. And, so to see each other for the first time right then and there, or those special moments, like if it's, the bride with her dad or the bride with her mom or whatever it might be. I mean, I've done so many first looks with so many I think I had six on one wedding.
oh well,
It was like, okay, revolving door. First look with this person. First look with this person. It was like, okay, here we go.
yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
but
Oh my gosh,
and
it's
all the
amazing.
tears, and I'm ready with the tissues. Yeah,
Exactly. And then they don't have to like be crying and blubbering, during the actual ceremony. It's like they probably
right.
still will be, but like, you get that initial, get the cute photos, but then, you could be on your best game when it's actually time.
Yes, right. And it's a little bit more of yeah. The ceremony is special because you have all of your guests there. So then adding in the flavor of personality, whether it's music, and that's Michael, that's where you come in, is like talking through like what is the style of music and what is the feeling that you want your guests to have while they're sitting there and during the ceremony. We have to do certain things because we have to make sure you're married. There's
Yeah.
very specific things, but how do we build in a little personality and flavor with it? So
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. No, and I mean, I see that kind of across the day too. I mean, I bring this up on my podcast all the time, so I'm sure if you've heard any of mine, you're sick of hearing about it. But the one thing that I feel like just disappeared a few years ago, and maybe you see it more often than me, but is the bouquet and the garter toss. That was like a tradition that just for years everyone just like you did it. You like there's no question. And then I think one day everyone collectively was like, why are we doing this? Why am I sticking my head up my wife's dress in front of her dad like an hour after we get married? Like it's just this weird thing. Like let's get everyone awkwardly that is single up in the dance floor and stop the party for 10 minutes. It's just like, yeah,
Right.
that's one tradition I'm glad to see is on the way out because it's like let's just keep having fun. That's what it's all
The
about.
other thing that, speaking of that, they do I think it's special to do the father-daughter dance, mother-son dance. I mean, I love all of those, the first dance, whatever.
Yeah,
Mixing that up a little bit has been, so the thing that I've been seeing the last couple years is snacking it down to like just 90 seconds instead of the full 3-4 minute song that
right.
the mother and son are doing. That's something that has really been, yeah, instead of your guests sitting there staring at you for, at least 15 minutes, which can be awkward for some that don't like to be in the limelight.
Yeah.
But then just standing, dancing with your dad, I'm like, that's a little awkward. So hey, let's just change it up a little bit. Just do 90 seconds of the song, switch it out, kind of thing. You could switch where you could, bring the groom in and, he
Right.
could, anyway. So there's I just love that they're so open. This generation is so open to being creative
Mhm.
and thinking outside the box and just being open-minded about doing different things. It doesn't have to be over the top. It can be very subtle. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great. You just get the picture with mom, get the picture with dad dancing, you got your
Mhm.
memories, you got your moment. But yeah, I mean, we used to even, I mean, we typically recommend like we would always recommend 2 to 2.5 minutes, but now I even find like that is too long. Like just like a verse and a
Right.
chorus, like 60, 90 seconds. And then, because we're at that point, we're like ready to party. Like we're just
Yeah, right. Let's
getting
get
through these
everybody out there.
dances and then, shut up and dance. So it's like
Yeah,
everyone's just kind of
right.
sitting there and yeah, no, it's very true. Yeah. I mean, and all this is just, yeah, the last few years, I mean, things have really evolved. And I do think a lot of it has to do with, just social media and just people's ideas and just getting creative in a way that we used to not have. You just did it because that's what you did. There's no reason or rhyme to anything. So,
Yes, right. And yeah, so that's, I would say, one of the things that I love to bring to the plate and talk about. Like, oh, we don't have to do it that way. No,
yeah,
nope, you don't.
you have to do it anyways. Especially, I mean,
Right.
I was, no hate to any of the parents who are super involved in the process, but a lot of time, you're there with the daughter and the mom or the dad or something, and you can just tell, like the mom is like, oh, well, we have to do this, and you'd see the daughter kind of like, well, okay, and sometimes it's like, I'll wait till I have just the daughter by herself and be like, okay, what do we really want to do? Like, you just
Yeah,
be
right, right,
honest,
right. Right, right, right.
So,
Yeah, receiving lines are a thing that I talk about quite a bit.
uh,
Because of the fact that you don't want your guests to walk away from your day not feeling like they didn't greet you or connect with you at some point. So you want to make that a priority, but table to table, that's just excruciatingly long. And also, I also talk to them about their personalities. Like, can your and the reason why I started having this conversation because I had a groom that ended up in the hospital because he had a panic attack
oh my
because it
gosh,
was just too much for well, yeah, talk about a buzzkill for a day, for a wedding day. Off goes, the bride because she's like, I have to be with my husband at the hospital,
right,
so they're gone. Everyone's like, well, we'll just anyway. So I
uh,
talk about that personality. Like, is doing a 300 person receiving line too taxing for your personality, for your own mental health?
right.
Like, is that too much? Well, then let's think outside the box. Let's do something a little bit different or something that's quicker that isn't so taxing on you and time consuming or whatever. So,
Absolutely. And just from a guest perspective, I mean, I make it a point if I go to a wedding now to not even try and talk to the bride and groom. I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm going to be on the dance floor all night, making sure everyone's having fun. And then, like, a few days later, I'm going to send them a message and be like, oh my gosh, I had so much fun. It's like, I just, I know everyone wants to experience their wedding in their own way, but sometimes, we're like about to start speeches and Uncle Harold walks up and starts talking, and I'm just kind of standing there like with my microphone, just like, don't want to interrupt this conversation, but like, you don't need 10 minutes of the bride's time on her wedding day. Like,
right.
15 seconds, like, give her a hug. Oh my gosh, so great to see you. We'll catch up later. Like,
I
so.
actually, I actually, with the bride and groom, I tell them to have a signal between the two of them.
Yeah,
Like, just have a signal. First of all, work the room together. I always say hold hands because everyone that comes to the wedding wants to see you in love,
right.
wants to see you connected, and not off in different spaces. I'm like, so hold hands, work the room together, and then I said, but then also have a signal. Like if Aunt Shirley is just talking way too much, you're pulling on your ear, like boo,
Here,
and then I even know the signal so that like bride looks at me and goes like this. I know when to, oh, hey, hey, Melanie, we need to go over this way, or I have something that, and I
right.
whisper in her ear, and then yeah, and I can
Yeah,
just
you get to be
divert
the bad
them.
guy. She doesn't have to be. You can be the bad guy.
Yes, right,
Exactly.
right. I can be the bad guy. Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
said, Throw me under the bus as much. Just let me know when you do. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I tell people with speeches. I'm like, I'm never gonna like tell someone to shut up, but if you like give me like one of these, I can, I'm happy to be the bad guy if I need to be, but only if you tell me to be the bad guy.
Right. Yeah, I
Ooh.
had a father of the bride that
It's always the father of
40
the bride. Oh
minutes.
yeah.
40 minutes. I was like, oh my word, stop. Yeah.
Yeah. And like the caterers are back there like holding the salads, like, okay, like we're
Oh
ready. Like,
no, we're
like
ready to go. The food's gonna be nasty. Like, please.
oh my God. Well, Marsha, thank you so much for taking some time to chat with me today. Once again, everyone, this is Marsha VanArk with Distinctly Yours Wedding and Events, one of the best in the business. So happy for you to take some time and chat with me.
Yeah.
So
Thanks,
anything else
Michael.
you wanna put out there or add on to the end before we wrap it up today?
No, it was such an honor to be here, Michael. It's good to see you again as well. And I am excited to work together many, many times, my friend.
Good, me too. And despite the fact
Yeah.
that it's snowing here in April in Chicago and Wisconsin, I know we're both gearing up for another excellent and crazy wedding season that I'm sure is going to be fantastic for everybody. So
Fantastic. Yep, looking
amazing.
forward to it.
Well, Marsha, thank
Yeah.
you again
Thank
so
you.
much. Once again, everyone, thanks for tuning in. This is Mike Sherman with Eventful Endeavors. Have a great day. And until we see you next time, bye. Thanks for listening to another episode of Eventful Endeavors, Secrets to Crafting the Perfect Celebration. We hope to have left you with some actionable ideas for your own event. If you like the show, please subscribe and definitely leave us a review. We read every comment. So until next time, happy planning and see you soon on Eventful Endeavors.